Something strange is happening. Although I'm completely speechless that you all are here, and this is growing into new and interesting things throughout the springtime and hugely complimented. Although I'm completely speechless, I can't stop making notes with new ideas. So before I start making notes while talking with you, I'm coming at this as a person working in music, as a composer, as a person who struggles with language. I grew up dyslexic and struggling with language, and I'm still struggling with language. And I think because of this, maybe I tried to listen to language a little differently, find something new in it, connect with it in some way, despite spelling words creatively different each time. The birth of this idea was about 10 years ago at a party at the Jewish Museum in Berlin. I played for the opening of an event, and they invited me to the reception. And I sat there with the boss of the entire museum and with the main curator of the contemporary exhibit. And maybe I had one sip too much wine, and I said, you know what? The party was right across the street from the museum. And I said, you know what? That museum over there, it's filled with stuff. Jewish culture isn't stuff. It's stories. It's what you can take with you when you're, on the way, when you're going from here to here. It's melody, it's stories. And they looked, and I thought, I should go. And they looked at each other, and one grinned and said, well, think of something. And that was the birth of a lot of different projects, and this place between spoken word and melody is, well, it's my artistic playground, I like to see. Starting with Yiddish and the music of the language, like Miriam said during her interview, it's about talking Yiddish. It's about a language always but never dying. A language that's so strong, the melody of that language becomes infused in other languages, as you will hear during the sound installation. Our voice melody has stories that are parallel to what we're saying. If you unhook the syntax, there's a lot of narrative to be discovered in the melody of our voice. Your voice, each and every voice, when you're talking about what you want for breakfast, has as much melody in it as any opera aria. We just kind of filter it out. So this sound installation is about challenging that hierarchy of how we listen. Unhook the syntax, put away the words, and listen to the person. Our voice melody contains information both personal, their mood, maybe age, a lot about who we are, the body, but also impersonal, where has that unpersonal, where that person has been, maybe the languages that they speak, things like that. There's a lot of traditions in this piece, like Studs Terkel collecting stories. Studs Terkel, the great radio personality. Martin Buber, who also was a story collector, and many of Martin Buber's stories, interestingly enough, and fun for me, are about melodies. So there's a lot of Martin Buber in this. Carl Sandburg, who also collected stories. Allen Ginsberg talks about how part of poetry is making ordinary language heightened, is hearing. It's up to us to hear the beauty, the heightenedness, the humanness in ordinary language. So it's coming from the poet side, but also composers like Janacek, Stephen Reich. Here in Toronto, Charles Spearing has this happiness project with voice melodies, which is inspiring. And any composer writing for opera is challenged. What do I do with this language? What do I do with this music? So this sound installation, although a bit in a strange genre of its own, really connects with a lot of different traditions. I came to Toronto looking for the voices that Helen recommended. Why blessings and curses? Because they're also heightened language. When you bless somebody, when you curse somebody, well, it's kind of an intense moment. I mean, yeah, right? What I found was something a little different the blessings and curses all had something to do with memory. What I fell in love with was each blessing, each curse was like a little door into that person's recollection of their lives, of their family, and often, deeply enough, their relationship with Jewish culture or Yiddish culture. And that's what this sound installation became. Just the day before leaving, I interviewed Miriam and her friends, and the youngins, they were kind of the key to finish the sound installation. But I discovered that Yiddish was not only something that inspired recollection, inspired cultural memory, contained something of, cultural identity, but for the young people, it is becoming a place where new things are growing, a place to put one's identity into reform and to rediscover who one is in relationship with Jewish culture. And I just want to say, to sum it up, this piece is really a sonic love letter to Yiddish Toronto. That's what it is for me. Thank you very much.